Chinese art dates back thousands of years. Over the centuries, the Chinese artisans learned how to work with bronze, paper, porcelain, and silk. The Chinese have what they call the three perfections: calligraphy, poetry, and painting. This is the height of artistic expression and the greatest accomplishment of an educated person. In ancient China, jade was one of the most precious stones. Jade was vested with magical properties, immortality. An ancient dictionary defines jade as being the fairest of stones. It is endowed with 5 virtues. Charity is typified by its luster, bright yet warm. Rectitude by its translucency, revealing the color and markings within. Wisdom by the purity and penetrating quality of its note. When the stone is struck, courage in that it may be broken but cannot be bent. Equity is it has sharp angles which had yet injured none. As we make our journey through the timeline of dynasties, we will see how the Chinese art evolved. Beginning with the Shang dynasty, we can see the beautiful bronze artifacts. The Chinese learned to create bronze using tin and copper. The Zhou dynasty continued the bronze artwork, but it also began 2 others. Lacquer was introduced, and silk paintings were becoming prevalent. Not much changed in the Qin dynasty, but one emperor had an army of terracotta soldiers built to guard his tomb. We begin to see a more dramatic change in art style when we enter the Han dynasty. Because our religion changed, so did the art. It took on an almost Indian look. Also, we are introduced to the invention of paper. The members of the Gong, or the artisan class, were rated higher socially than the Nu and the Shang, but below the Nong. Like the Nong, the Gong were to be productive members of society, but what they produced was not considered essential for life. The Gong were skilled artisans that could carve jewels and other precious stones, design the molds for casting iron and bronze, created elaborate patterns for silks and paper. The skills of the Gong were needed in both times of war and peace. They made elegant and deadly weapons, or created luxury items raised to the level of art. During the Tang dynasty, Tu Ming developed 120 different styles of writing. Writing was not only a useful tool, but also a social grace. Calligraphy, or beautiful writing, is a series of characters drawn with a brush. The Tang also popularized the natural scenes that were painted onto silk and sometimes paper. The paintings usually included a poetic or philosophical inscription to reflect the mood of the painting. From the Tang dynasty on, educated men or women were expected to write poems, do calligraphy, and paint well. Although Chinese art has changed drastically over the years, the techniques that were once invented in ancient China are still used today to create beautiful, spectacular pieces of art.